What's a sugar tax? It is when the government implements an extra fee on food and drink with added sugar in order to reduce sugar consumption. So it is a bit like tobacco tax. But why tax sugar? Sugar is a source of energy, and when it is not used up, it is stored as fat. Increased consumption of sugar might be a contributor to the obesity epidemic. Since 1980, the obesity rate in the world has more than doubled. Obesity results from a long-term imbalance of energy expenditure relative to energy intake. A sedentary lifestyle and an excessive consumption of high-caloric foods leads to weight gain. Obesity predisposes people to problems like cardiovascular diseases, type 2 diabetes, and some cancers. So, will a sugar tax help? To tackle this question, let's look at two case studies. The first one is Mexico. On the 1st of January 2014, a tax of 1 peso per liter of beverage with added sugar was implemented. By December 2014, there was an estimated 6% decrease in purchases of taxed beverages and an increase in purchases of untaxed drinks, mainly bottled water. The second case study is Berkeley in California. In March 2015, a 1 penny per ounce tax on the distribution of sugar-sweetened beverages was implemented. However, because retailers are worried about competition from nearby untaxed cities, they only increased slightly the prices of sweetened beverages, which means that the retailers are actually taking the cost. This means that the tax is not really affecting sugar consumption. There are some other problems with sugar tax. Some people see the tax as being unfair for the poor because it represents a greater proportion of their salary when compared to the rich, and this might be enhancing inequalities. However, in Mexico, the decrease in purchases of taxed sugary drinks was highest amongst less affluent groups. So, the end result seems to be that people from different socioeconomic groups are actually spending similar proportions of their salary on taxed drinks. Another issue is that a sugar tax is a rather paternalistic approach, because we're telling people what to do. Shouldn't we be able to freely choose what we want to eat? Perhaps, but if these decisions are making you obese and are increasing health costs to the wider population, it might seem reasonable for the government to intervene. We can categorize policies on whether they are based on reward, the carrot, or on punishment, the stick. The sugar tax clearly falls under the stick category. Some more positive strategies include making food and drink with no added sugar more affordable or giving out vouchers for these, incentivizing producers to reduce added sugars, and implementing better monitoring of sugar consumption. What does the future in the UK hold for us? The NHS plans to tax food and drink bought in hospitals by 2020, and Jamie Oliver will charge an extra 10p for every drink with added sugar bought at one of his restaurants. Importantly, as part of the Obesity Strategy 2016, the government is now deciding if we should implement a sugar tax. However, decreasing sugar intake will not solve everything. We need to have an overall healthier diet and increase physical activity.